Hey gang, welcome back to Money and Politics, and this is Tuesday, and we're going to be covering a couple of different things today. Of course, we will be going over the number one stock that we follow here so far on Money and Politics, which is Humbl. And lo and behold, what do you know? Humbl actually has had 2 green days in a row. Can you imagine that? And we ended up $1.05. Stopped at $1.05, up 15%, gaining 14 cents on the day. For the one day, you kind of see we held our own. We went up in the beginning, and you can see the action. What's interesting, I think, is at least we can see here that we had the bottom out at 76 cents last Thursday. And so for Humbl, we have been up from 76 cents now to $1.05, so virtually 30 cents, 14 cents of that coming today. And obviously, so that's not quite, but close to, maybe about a 40% going off the top of my head, 40% movement or so. Forwardly was up 3.57% to close at 14.5 cents. So the thing I would say to note on Humbl is that an awful lot of stocks, it's not just Humbl, have been bottoming out over the course of this year, since the high in early February. That's exactly where Humbl is. We had the high in early February, and you see that here. Take that graphic out. Way back here, we had the high February 8, and then it's been downhill since then. But folks, the point is we're not alone. You can find that in a whole number of things since then. Okay, so there's not alone. Now, the other thing is, as I've said before, when you go into one company, you're also going to have that one company risk. So keep that in mind. If you can't stand the volatility of Humbl, of course, if you're down now, it's not much you can do. You're just going to either have to throw in the towel or hang on. I'm hanging on. A lot of people are hanging on. But you can also go into the ETFs, which are one of the things I find very good. Now, I've talked about DIG before, and I wanted to bring this up because DIG, you see at 65, and you go, what the heck happened? Last time we saw it was 130 something. Well, it still is. DIG has done a 2-for-1 split. So not only did it go up from where I was pounding the table back when it was at about $63 in November. It actually went up to about 142, but just the other day, then it did a stock split 2-for-1, and you see now we are at 63. So there you go. That's the update on that. If you get this, you can see here the article. ETF odds and ends, 23 pro shares to split. Now, the other thing, speaking of ETFs, I wanted to bring up, and I've talked about this before, FNGU, which again came from one of our fellow Humbl family members. I was distracted by the wind outside. FNGU, this is the microsectors FANG index. You're buying a lot of great companies all in one here. And I wanted to have you show what some of the another one that the microsectors companies put together is an ETF on banks, BNKU. And I think this is a good one to consider. Boom. This is a one-year chart, and you can see how much FNGU is. And as a reminder, FNGU has a number of the 10 of the really big tech companies in there. So you get companies like Amazon and Baidu and Alibaba in the FNGU, Facebook. So I would say there you go, that you want to be able to consider that. Now, if we look at a 2-year chart of this, you can see, look how much the FNGU has gone up over the last 2 years, of course, being a tech stock. But I also think that now with interest rates on the verge of going up, we got a 1-month chart here, we're going to see the banks, I think, coming up, and this is where you're seeing this rise in the bank ETFs. So you got that over a 3-month chart, and let's go to a 6-month chart. A 6-month chart, folks, that's showing you that BNKU is up 100, and I'm going to call it 165%. It's 164 and change. So that's what you're getting in BNKU. And in FNGU, you're also getting some real mix of good companies. And so when you go into these, and as I said, on the BNKU, or I'm sorry, FNGU, you're getting Google and Amazon and Apple. Let me bring that chart up here, and you can see it on the right side, the top holdings of FNGU. All of these are 10%. So Twitter, Tesla, Nvidia, Netflix, Facebook, Baidu, Apple, Amazon, Google, and Alibaba. So you even have a little bit of a foreign exposure, although it might be problematic with the Chinese. But let me bring back, and this is, again, the 6-month chart, and you can see, as we are going to have, and I think we will over a period of time, interest rates go up, you can see that it may be time to cycle into some of these bank stocks going up as well. There's another company for those of you who like the cannabis sector, Tilray, and I wanted to bring that up and show you that. It's not, from a price per share standpoint, overly expensive. It is currently at $15 and about 50 cents, $15.46. You can see how the spike went up, and two things I'll point out. This was February 10th. When was the high for Humbl? February 8th. So there you go, folks. It was a lot of things going up in early February. But the other thing I would say when you look at this gold line of Tilray is when you see a vertical line like that, I've said this before, but some of you are new, when you see a vertical line, it's going to come down almost always as it went up, and you certainly see that on the chart here. So if you're in a position where it starts going vertical, instead of climbing gradually over time, as you see the red line here, the bank ETF, see how that's just kind of going on up nice and stable. Obviously, you get some downturns here. But when this is a 6-month chart, you're getting a nice steady growth, not that super blast off and then a fall back to earth. If we look at a 1-year chart, again, you got some volatility, obviously, in the red line on the BNKU, but you don't see it just shoot way up and then come down, and that's what Tilray did. I would say put Tilray on your radar screen is what I would say, okay? It's something, if you want to follow, if you're into the cannabis sector, that's one to look at. And the other one, let me bring that up. Maybe I should have. The high tide, and we've talked about this before. So let me bring that up if I can. Let's make it a purple. And for 1 year. That's because it just came out of nowhere. Let's go back to maybe like a 6-month chart here. And you can see really it's gone up so much in a short amount of time that is somewhat of a distortion here. So, in fact, I think they did a reverse split because this used to be a $62 stock. But I'm going to take that out of there. It's kind of distorting everything else. So what I would say, folks, I like these leverage ETFs, whether it's the oils, the banking, the tech stocks. And here you have, let's go a little longer, the 3-month chart on the tech stocks. It's been a tough time for the techs. And so you see that it's down 24% over the last 3 months. If we go back to the full year, it's just about at zero for the year, the FNGU, the techs, that is. But look at the banks. And this is also, folks, why you want to be invested in the different sectors. And by having these leveraged ETFs, you can take advantage of different sectors, and you get a number of different companies in one. Now, finally, let me just to do it, because so many of us here follow Humbl. So let's bring them in. And just kind of for fun, we'll see how they were comparing. And we'll see if I can make that a green. And we see there that again, we go back to February 8th, and Humbl was way up. So year to date, Humbl is barely in the, well, what's that? Actually up 70%. I shouldn't say barely. It's up 70%. The bank stocks are beating so far. If we go back 6 months, Humbl, even with that massive decline, up 600%, because it started from virtually nowhere. It came out of nowhere. But I think, let me just go back to a 1 month. You know, a lot of stocks, and here's the bottom line before I wrap up. A lot of stocks have had some real tough years, and we've seen that just in the charts I was showing you. So you got to put this in context. You've been following, and I've been doing it almost daily, these updates, and it's something where you go, oh man, this stock is killing me, this Humbl. And I know a lot of you, me included, where we had a nice profit on paper, now we're underwater. So I understand. I feel your pain, as Bill Clinton would say. But I also want to say that the whole history of Humbl thus far is one where it is also in the context of the overall market, where we have a new administration coming in, where they're talking about a variety of things that are impacting tech stocks. Humbl is a tech stock, certainly of sorts, of fintech. And so it also is swimming in the price action is not immune to the overall market, is what I would say. So it helps, I think it helps certainly me to take the big picture and to look at what other price action is happening. And, that's what we're seeing. So we've had a number of up days now for Humbl. Hopefully we can continue that. Hopefully we keep moving forward with the relative to Humbl, with the other new services. And I know I'm going to be looking forward. Here we are coming up on the end of May, and time goes by so quickly, doesn't it? But I'm going to be looking forward to what are we going to have happening through June and then into July, where we get the second quarter earnings report. Then we can compare some of the second quarter to the first quarter. And folks, this is how you do it. You got to have some kind of, you can't make, if you're making a chart, you can't draw a line until you got 2 points on the graph. And right now, the only graph point we have is that first quarter earnings. We're going to have the second quarter earnings, but then we're going to see all the other metrics for Humbl that we want to look at. How are we doing on people signing up to the ETFs? How are we doing on ticket sales? How are we doing on people buying into the NFTs? We want to see what's happening with the peer-to-peer. We want to go back to what a lot of us looked at Humbl as in the beginning. Someone just wrote me today about this to say, where are we on the app and making payments? Because NFTs, while they're surprisingly, surprised me just for the action we're getting, where Clint Eastwood is now up to $8,000 for that photo, and who knows what the potential is. But a lot of people are still looking for Humbl to be that breakthrough technology that allows us to send money around the world. And that's what they're looking for, and that's what we want to get an update on over time. Okay? I'm going to let you go. As always, it's been great to have you with me. Tell me what you're looking for in Humbl if you want. What are you most interested in seeing? And in the meantime, hopefully you're staying optimistic. I am. And we'll see you tomorrow, folks. Take care.